Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Hannah, and on this channel we love to talk about books, knitting, and also the occasional video about Turner syndrome and diabetes. So that's what we talk about here on this channel, and today we're going to be talking about books, and I'm going to be sharing with you the books I want to read this coming March. So March is only a few days away, and I'm just so excited for this reading month. I do want to say though, I do not expect to get to every single one of these books, because some of them are big books. B, I'm gonna have a busy couple months. Like March and April are gonna be flat out. So we'll see how it goes, but here's hoping that we at least get the majority of this read. I also just want to say I'm not going to be speaking about these books in the order I intend to read them. To be honest, I don't really have a specific order, apart from I know which book I want to start the month off with, so that's something, but apart from that I have no idea. I'm just going to be taking from the pile and seeing what I kind of feel like at the time. So these are the books I have picked out, and there is some method to the madness, so we shall see how it goes. Okay, so the first book is Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I think this is going to be a really good one. It's kind of the mythology idea of like angels and demons. All I really know about it is kind of the TV show from Amazon, which stars like David Tennant and things like that, and I just think it's going to be such a good time because if the TV show's anything to go off of, I'm going to have a good time. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. The next book is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak? Is that how you pronounce it? All I know is that this book is incredibly well loved, and it's a modern classic. I think is about this young girl during World War II, and her story is narrated by death, which I feel like this is going to be a hard-hitting one, but I think it's going to be good, and I feel like I need to have read this. I need to have read this book at least once in my life, so I want to get this ticked off in the month of March. The third book is by David Nicholas, One Day, which is, as you can see, a Netflix adaptation. I've got the new copy with the Netflix cast on the cover. I'm just really looking forward to watching the Netflix show, and I felt like I needed to read it before I watch it, and I feel like why not do it in March? So I feel like this is going to be one of the earlier books that I get to, but we'll see. So yeah, all I know is this is kind of a tragic kind of rom-com about, I think it just says 20 years, 2 people, 1 day, and says 15th of July 1988, Emma and Dexter meet for the first time on the night of their graduation. Tomorrow they must go their separate ways. So where will they be on this one day next year, or the year after that, and every year that follows? Sounds really interesting. Next is one that I've seen all over, and I picked this one also because it doesn't look too chunky either, like compared to the rest of the books I've chosen. This is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I don't know much about this other than it's about a school that Loki tries to kill you, and it's magical, hence the deadly education part. A school that tries to kill you. Seems interesting. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good one, and I'm excited to get to it. Now, this is the one kind of like middle grade on my kind of TBR this month. I wasn't planning on getting to the Magnus Chase book so close together, like I've literally just read one in February. But I just had such a good time, and I'm just so excited to see how the series progresses. So if you don't know about Magnus Chase, basically the synopsis for this is the second book, The Hammer of Thor, but I'll give you a kind of synopsis for the first book so I don't spoil the first book for you. It's a spin-off of the Percy Jackson series, and there's some crossover with a few characters in kind of like cameos and things, and there's a lot of references that fans of the original will be really happy to see. But it follows Magnus Chase. He's about 16, and on his 16th birthday, things kind of go for the worst as he's thrown into a world that he's always kind of be destined to be a part of because he is a Norse demigod. And it kind of goes from there. So I'm going to be reading the second book in the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series, and I'm really excited. Now, this was on my February TBR, but I don't think I'm going to get to it by the end of the month. It is the 23rd today, and I have 2 other books that I've decided to read. And I thought, I'm not going to be mad at myself. I will just push back a book into the next month, and that's fine. So yeah, I want to get to Strange the Dreamer. This will, again, be another priority read, just so it doesn't go into another month. But yeah. If you don't know about Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, it's basically, I think it's about this long lost city, and it's magical, and it's mysterious. And there's I think his name's Laszlo Strange. He's having dreams about this lost city and someone called the Godslayer. So who's the Godslayer and what did they slay that could be redeemed a god? So this is the first book in a duology. And I just really need my kind of high fantasy fix, because adult high fantasy is just the epitome of my book taste. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited about this one. Okay. And now, my most anticipated release of 2024, A Tempest of Tea by Hassa Faizal. This book. I'm just so excited, and look how pretty. So this book is about anti-colonialism at its heart, but the plot surrounds kind of a fantasy plot where there's kind of a tea shop, which is a front for kind of an illegal blood kind of dealership kind of thing. It's Peaky Blinders meets vampires, meets a little of the Arthurian legends, with anti-colonialism at its heart. So I think this is going to be a good one. And this is my number 1 priority read for March, so this is the book I plan to start March off with, unless my reading intuition tells me to go for something else. But as far as I'm planning on at the moment, this is going to be the first book of the month, so I'm really excited about that. Okay, in the 8th and final book, I don't know what this is going to sit on my priorities. Again, like most of the books on this TBR, we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But I wanted to put David Mitchell's Unruly, A History of England's Kings and Queens on here, because I love not just royal history, but I love when comedy and history come together to make something magical. And they just, for something people don't seem to think go together, they go together so well. And I think this goes back to my obsession with horrible histories. I've been obsessed with history since I was a kid, and I loved horrible histories, and I'm now a history student at university. And I just feel like as a history student, I definitely should be reading more history nonfiction. And I was on such a history nonfiction kick, September, October last year, but fiction has just taken over kind of my recreational reading, whereas history has kind of remained what I read for uni. But I want history to be in my recreational reading as well. So that's why I'm going to kind of get myself back into it with something incredibly funny, because I have read a chapter or 2 from this book before, and it's incredibly hilarious. And I just, like I said, I think something magical just happens when history and comedy come together. So I think this is going to be a really good time. Okay, so that's all the books I have planned for the month of March. Wish me luck with getting all these read alongside all my deadlines for uni. Like I say, I'm not putting myself under any pressure to get all of them read, but I thought, about 2 books a week is what I kind of read kind of naturally when I do have kind of my usual amount of free time. So I thought I'd put all of those aside just in case I do have the time to read them all. And if not, I'll just push them into April and, we'll see. But that's a lot of time in the future. So we can worry about that when we come to it towards the end of March, which March hasn't even begun yet. But I'm definitely excited for all these books. I wish you guys all the luck with your March reading plans, your March TBRs and reading goals. And yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna finish off this video here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!